Hi everybody, welcome to my shop tour. Outside my shop you can see I've got logs on pallets and on other blocks, and you can see where I cut the logs up. All the waste goes to firewood, which you'll see in just a sec. Just inside the door I have these shelves. On the top shelf are paper bags and some blocks, and the next shelf down some half finished pieces, and the third and fourth shelves they're rough turn pieces. On the bottom shelf they're rough turn bowls, the green ones inside paper bags. On the next shelf over, on the top is a couple of turn pieces, very thin, waiting to be pierced. The next row down is all teapot blanks with the corresponding blocks to make the spouts and the handles from. On the next shelf down, pieces I sort of lost my way, left them there waiting for some inspiration. Underneath those are some more tools and some of the boxes for packing up when I go and do demonstrations. To the left of the shelves, this is where I do the bleaching and the paints. You can see on the top there's the milk paints and the bleach. Underneath those there's the glue and texturing material. Below that is the dyes and different finishes, thinners, rags and plastic little containers for mixing stuff up. A little tip here, when you break those bandsaw blades, save them. They're great to put your pieces on to spray or paint them. More storage shelves to the left of the bench. Here you can see the lathe that I do all my work on. To the left of that is a compound miter saw, and then above the fridge is a dishwasher that I use for a drying kiln. Side of the lathe I have a belt and disc sander, and then a table saw. Drill press for buffing. Behind you can see all the blocks that I have ready cut, ready to turn. Many different types of wood, including a lot of bars. On the back side of the shelves, got some larger pieces, mainly pear. A shelf with different types of wood on, and my compressor. Here's my jet 18-inch bandsaw, and here's my Powermatic, same one that's at the club. I've got it situated in front of the windows. I like the natural light, plus two fans to suck all the dust out. This is my revolving tool holder. The top and bottom rotate. Here's my bench grinder with the Wolverine setup. My workbench. The chest of drawers underneath is also full of tools. Underneath the bench I got blocks for finishing off different projects. There's a homemade Jameson hollowing system and the Trent Bosch hollowing system. The bottom drawer contains hollowing tools. The next one up shows different jaws for different chucks. There's some calipers that I use, and on top of the case is a few chucks. Behind the lathe is a few jigs and air extraction or dust extraction system that runs up and over the ceiling and goes outside. Most of my sharpening on a tool Mac. Beneath the tool Mac in the drawer is my sanding discs and pads. The next drawer down shows sandpaper rolls and also the different little jigs that I use. In the bottom drawer is another hollowing system and a coring tools. New toys. Axminster asked me to review their new chuck, and I must say it's one of the finest chucks I've ever used. It's solid stainless steel, so it's just rock solid. The attachments that come with it, including this ring, which if you want to screw your block onto the piece, and then it's got a dovetail edge on it, so when you lock it down, that's not going anywhere. This is where I do the texturing, burning and piercing. On the left is the micromotor, and then there's the razor tip pyro system. Here's the four of them I use. And this is the NSK which I do the piercing with. There's a piece I'm working on. It's not finished yet. Here's a few of the burrs that I use. Up there, the pyro pens and some work that still needs finishing. On these shelves here, I got airbrush paints, pens, carving tools, glue, airbrush paints, and some other little tools that you need. Pieces that I've made, or they've split or cracked or something's gone wrong with them, or I just didn't like the design, I save them and I use them for practice before I actually start piercing or carving or burning on good piece. It's well worth practicing on a piece that doesn't matter before you start on your good piece of wood. This is my fireplace that keeps the chill off in the winter months. Hope you enjoyed the mini tour.